Hello everyone, welcome to another interview with my fellow friend Bradley Strasser, and I'll be interviewing him today for the sixth time, I believe. Today's topic, I'll be figuring out uh, my friend's preferred choice of entertainment. So Bradley, say hi.
Hi, good to be back.
Yep. So, how do you typically access entertainment in Australia? Are there like specific platforms or services you use for film, music, or just watching videos in general?
Well, I think much like the rest of the world, we use YouTube, Netflix, Amazon Prime if you can afford it. Um, yeah, all the mainstream streaming services from America.
If you comparing it from maybe let's just say from 2019 until now, which platforms do you use the most, or which platforms you left out, or basically which ones are you using now, and why?
Uh, the vast majority of the time throughout those years, I've mostly used YouTube because it's just a lot more convenient and there's more content you can watch, and some streamers from Twitch and such usually upload their VODs, video on demands there, so you can watch it anytime. It's very convenient.
So you prefer to watch content that's okay. You don't spend a lot of time watching movies or shows in other platforms.
Not as of late, no, there hasn't been anything good lately.
So you prefer to watch other people game or make essay videos of certain things.
Yeah, yep.
Do you leave those in your background while you're doing other stuff, or do you commit to a long video?
Sometimes I commit to it if I'm in the mood, but if I'm busy doing assignments or projects, then I like to leave it in the background because it just helps me feel more focused.
Hmm. Okay. Next, among your like friends or peers, are streaming services like YouTube, Spotify, or Netflix popular in Australia for accessing entertainment content?
Yep, very much so. A lot of them is about YouTube Premium, so yeah, people love YouTube.
Would you say people use Netflix more or YouTube more, or
I would
disadvantage?
definitely say YouTube more. That's just because it's so easy to use and you get more content than movies.
That's true. Yeah. Then, can you share your favorite platform or service for music? And do you have any preferred genres or artists over the years? Genres like pop, rock, jazz, K-pop, J-pop. Uh,
Uh, so I've mostly used YouTube for my platform for music because it's convenient, and especially if you have YouTube Premium, you get a lot more varied content. As for the preferred genres, I don't really have one that I stick to like constantly, but as of late, have been sticking with J-pop quite a bit.
see, what was your preferred genre before J-pop?
Before J-pop, I liked music from the 1940s, like jazz and swings kind of thing.
That's
So it's a big
interesting.
jump.
That's an interesting leap. Care to explain why? What makes you like J-pop now more than classics?
Well, I mean, once you've heard them all, you've really heard them all, especially when all your artists from that era are already gone, so they're not making any more new
Hmm.
content. So eventually you just run out of music to listen to, so I've got to find something new.
How do you feel about the neighboring countries of J-pop, like K-pop or China pop, C-pop?
um, I'm not that into K-pop and C-pop. I mean, I don't mind K-pop, but because I'm more uh, I watch quite a bit of anime, so that
Yeah,
influenced
yeah, yeah.
my interest in J-pop. So
Yeah, yeah, that makes sense. All right, then when it comes to watching if you have any. When it comes to watching films or series or videos, are there any particular themes or genres you prefer?
Hmm.
Videos, film, series, any?
Well, in terms of videos on YouTube, I generally like to stick with video essays. Doesn't really matter what's the topic of the video essays, but if it's a video essays I'm interested, and like gaming videos.
Hmm. So essays about mostly anything.
Yeah, just about anything. I like the format and the author explaining things in a really immersive visual storytelling way. It's very nice.
So would you say you're not the right audience for today's, explosive 5 second now, for like 10-second videos, like 2 minute videos with explosive edits, those kind of videos?
I am familiar with those kinds of videos, but no, I'm not really a fan of them. It's too short, and I think indulging yourself in that kind of content for too long will have a negative impact on your attention span. So I try to avoid it whenever I can.
Then maybe over the last 3 months, 2 months, for your long video essays, what themes have you been like watching mostly?
The most common one that I seem to stumble upon are those of murder mysteries, like unsolved cases of the past from a variety of countries. It's always so fascinating to learn about the perfect murder scenarios.
Mm, mm. Like you're like trying to solve the case too along with it. So,
Mm.
all right. That's okay. Now we're gonna be talking about gaming. So, are you a gamer?
Yes, I am.
That makes two of us. Then, in terms of gaming, what platforms or games are popular among your friends or peers? Do you have any favorite Australian or international games?
Well, I think PC is definitely the most popular one, and everyone uses Steam because there's a lot of games there.
Mhm.
Popular games. I think right now the rage across not just Australia, but the vast majority of the world is probably Helldivers 2. It's very exciting gameplay.
What do you think that is?
I guess it's just very action-packed, and there's a lot of team element involved, and especially if you play it with friends, it just becomes a really thrilling experience.
And your friends have been playing this game recently?
Oh, absolutely, almost all the time.
So then would you say that most people there would prefer games where it's mostly team-based versus other players or versus robot AIs?
Well, that's a bit subjective. I would say that there are some that prefers we call it PvE, fighting against AIs, and then there's PvP. But I think the majority of the people that I know are into PvP.
I see. Okay. Then, are there any Australian artists, musicians, or bands that you particularly admire or enjoy listening to, and why?
There's this Australian artist named Dean Lewis. He published a song in 2016 titled Waves, but that was pretty much all he did. They came out with one song that I really liked and then just vanished, I think.
Why do you like the song? What genre was it?
Well, it's a pop song.
And that's
Can we repeat that?
Okay.
No, repeat it back. Now I remember why I picked him. I did listen to his song actually. Okay, ask the question again.
Now we're gonna be talking about music. Are there any Japanese artists, musicians, or bands that you?
You said Japanese.
God damn it! Okay. I feel high a bit. Hold on. Give me a second.
No.
Okay. So now we're gonna be talking about music. Are there any like Australian artists, musicians, or bands that you admire or enjoy listening to, and why?
There is this Australian singer named Dean Lewis, and I think he sang one of my most favorite song of all time, titled "Be All Right." I really like that song because during that during that period, I wasn't exactly in the best mental state, and that song really helped me out.
You should listen to that song to the day.
Occasionally, every now and then, to remind myself of that time, but not as often.
And does it remind you how come you far?
Yeah, that's it. Just reminds me of how much I've progressed with myself. So I think I'm in a better place now.
That's good. I'm glad to hear that.
Thanks.
Okay. All right. How familiar are you with entertainment content from other countries? Specifically, do you know if in Indonesian music, film, books, artists, any?
Well, when it comes to Indonesian music, artists, books, or comics, I'm not that well versed in it. But there is this one Indonesian film that really stuck with me when I first watched it. Are you familiar with a movie titled The Raid?
The Raid. Oh no, I haven't heard that myself.
It's a police action thriller film that's like really brutal. I think it was one of the most brutal movies of its time, and I really liked the grittiness of it.
Oh, The Raid. Oh, I've heard a lot of my friends talk about it. It's the one from 2011, right?
Yep, 2011. There's a second one that I also watched and I really enjoyed. So if you haven't watched it, I recommend you watch it. Very good.
And when you compare it to like action movies in Australia, how well does it do?
Well, Australian action films tend to be a bit more, how do I say this? Dumbed down a bit. Cleaner, that's a word. It's usually a lot more cleaner, so it doesn't really convey violence in its essence. So I think Indonesia seems to do it better.
So then the action and the raid is, let's just say, more raw, more in your face, kind of.
More raw, more realistic. Yep.
Yeah, I see. Okay. Up next, in your opinion, how open are people in Australia to explore and enjoy entertainment content from different cultures?
Well, Australia is a very multicultural nation, so there's different kinds of cultures from everywhere. Like in the cinemas, they play all kinds, like anime movies, Korean drama, Indian action. I guess very, very open. It's so open, it's mainstream.
Do you notice your friends or peers talk about these foreign movies, shows, animations? How often?
Ah, yeah, definitely.
Does anyone know, other than you, does anyone like watch Indonesian movies like The Raid you mentioned earlier?
In that regards, no, the Indonesian film market hasn't really been very, how do I say it, noticeable here. It's compared to all the different cultures that we have now, like all the different films coming in, the Indonesian ones don't really stick out as well as Korean or Japanese ones.
Then how did you watch The Raid? Was it through a movie website?
I watched it through a movie website, like when I heard one of my friends talk about it while I was in lunch break, and I thought, sounds interesting. Police action. You know, it's like those old Jackie Chan movies. Well, I thought it was going to be like that, but it was a lot more brutal than Jackie Chan films.
So, when was this? When did you hear this from your friend?
Was around 2015-ish. I can't remember which month it was specifically, but it was around that time.
So, you learn of this Indonesian movie from word of mouth from your fellow friend, or Peel. And
Just overhearing it, and then I immediately fell in love with it after watching it.
are you gonna seek out any more Indonesian movies in the action genre?
If there are other movies similar to The Raid, absolutely yes.
I would recommend you, but I don't watch a lot of Indonesian movies, if I'm being honest.
That's all right.
Yeah. Okay, well, that's the end of this discussion or interview. So thank you for today, my friend. This has been an
No
insightful
worries.
topic and figuring out your preferred choice of entertainment.
Glad to help.
Okay, I'll see you next time. Goodbye.
See ya. Bye.